Lately, I've been making a lot of wireless microphone comparison videos, and every time without fail, I get a wave of comments asking, what about Boya? Now, truth be told, I had not actually used a Boya microphone until recently. The team over at Boya reached out and asked if I'd be open to testing out 4 of their wireless microphone systems. With their lineup being so budget friendly and tailored toward different types of creators, my curiosity got the best of me. So in this video, I'm taking a closer look at 4 Boya wireless microphones: the Boya Mini, the BoyaLink 2, the Boya Mic, and the Boya V4. I'll break down the key features of each one and share some real-world audio samples so you can hear how they perform. This video is sponsored by Boya, so think of this as sort of a buying guide to some of their key wireless microphone products. First of all, in case you're completely unfamiliar with wireless mic systems like this, they come in a charging case and they consist of 1 or 2 transmitters that have built-in microphones that are clipped to your subject and a receiver that connects to the camera. The main benefit is being able to get isolated audio from your subject without worrying about cables or wires getting in the way. Basically, I deem a wireless microphone system an essential part of my modern content creator arsenal. Now let's dive into the specifics of each Boya microphone system here, beginning with the Boya Mini. So this was released in November 2024. And Boya claims that this is the world's smallest and lightest wireless microphone. And indeed, it appears, at least the transmitter, to be about the size of my thumb, actually smaller than my thumb, and it weighs a mere 5 grams. The Boya Mini is also quite cheap at just $45, which is much more affordable than competing microphone systems like the Rode Wireless Micro, which I would say is a pretty direct competitor here, because both of these mic systems officially only work with smartphones, although I am able to use the USB-C versions with some action cameras, like the DJI Osmo Action 5 Pro. There are 3 levels of noise cancellation as well as 3 voice changing modes. So let's test that out and hear what this tiny little microphone sounds like out in the field. The Boya Mini has a 6-hour battery life for each of the microphones, or up to 30 hours with the charging case. The charging case is, I think, roughly the size of an AirPod charging case, but I don't have AirPods, so I can't really say. But it's also very easy to use, it's plug and play, and there are very few settings, making it very uncomplicated. However, because of that, it does lack some more advanced features, like stereo audio. This one only records in mono. It also has a slightly shorter transmission distance of just 100 meters, and does not have the ability to work with a wider variety of cameras. So if you're looking for a slightly more upgraded microphone, that is where the BoyaLink 2 comes in. Now, even though the BoyaLink 2 is a slightly older model, having been released in December 2023, it is a bit more on par with popular wireless mic systems, yet it is still reasonably priced at $90. It comes with a 3-in-1 adapter that's compatible with Apple or Android phones and devices, as well as a 3.5mm TRS connector for attaching to cameras. The receiver is very minimal with no display, and just some buttons, one of which lets you toggle between mono and stereo recording modes. The transmitters also have onboard controls for adjusting 6 levels of gain, and toggling mute and noise reduction. The BoyaLink 2 also has a 300-meter line-of-sight transmission range, so it's quite a bit more than the Boya Mini. In terms of battery life, each transmitter has about 10 hours of runtime, while the receiver has 6 hours. And the charging case itself has a 1000 mAh battery, allowing for the whole system to be recharged twice. One thing that I really like about the BoyaLink 2 is that everything fits so nicely in this charging case. Your 2 transmitters, your receiver, adapters, and the furry windscreens all fit neatly inside of the case. Of course, it would be nice if the windscreens could fit while being attached to the transmitters, but still, this is a pretty nice setup that holds everything you need together in one case. But for all of its positive features, there is a big one that's missing: built-in internal recording. So if you want that feature, you will have to upgrade to the next microphone system here, the Boya Mic. Released in March 2024, the Boya Mic is the brand's flagship model, And the design of the charging case and its components definitely feel inspired by the DJI mic. We have a receiver in the middle along with 3 adapters that can be swapped out, so the receiver can work with phones or cameras. I also noticed that this receiver finally has an OLED display, which I prefer for verifying and easily changing my settings on the go without having to connect the microphone system to a phone app. The 2 transmitters also sit nicely within the charging cases. And even though these units are large compared to the other Boya mics here anyway, they offer 2 features that the other mic systems do not. First is the ability to connect a wired lavalier microphone, giving you the option to make the microphone more discreet when it's attached to your subject. And it also has internal recording. This feature is so key for making audio backups, just in case the primary audio gets messed up, something that I use a lot. It also means that you can use the transmitters independently as voice recorders. Each transmitter comes with 8 gigabytes or about 15 hours of internal storage. Now, besides those 2 features, the Boya mic has similar specs to the BoyaLink 2, like the same 300-meter line-of-sight transmission range, 1-click noise cancellation, and a similar 10-hour battery life of the transmitters, although it does drop to 6 hours if you have internal recording enabled. And the receiver on the Boya mic also has a slightly longer 11-hour battery life. And even though it has internal recording, the Boya mic is still relatively affordable at just $149. Finally, there is one last microphone system here, the Boya V4, which is a 4-channel wireless microphone system. This mic system is more similar in features to the BoyaLink 2. It doesn't have internal recording, and it also just has a 200-meter transmission range. But each transmitter does have 1-click noise cancellation. And most impressively, you can have up to 4 microphones recording audio simultaneously. I don't know of many mic systems that offer this. So if you have 4 subjects that you need to record audio from, this is one of few options. And considering it's $120, it is quite possibly the cheapest, most affordable option. With that said, it is a little bit limited, like this receiver is super minimal, does not have an interface. You just plug it in to a camera via the 3.5mm TRS adapter here, and it just has a couple of buttons here to control the settings, and that's really it from this receiver. So it is a little bit on the minimal side. But let's go ahead and take these outside and hear what they sound like. So before we get started with testing out any microphones, this is a baseline test with the DJI Pocket 3 using the built-in internal microphones, no wireless mic connected. This is what it sounds like as a baseline audio test. So the first wireless mic we're going to test out is the Boya Mini. I have the little receiver plugged into the base of the Pocket 3. You know, on paper, the Boya Mini only works with smartphones. But I find that if I'm using the USB-C version, I can plug the receiver into USB-C devices that support it, such as the Pocket 3, and I could use the microphone just fine. I can see the audio levels on the screen of the Pocket 3, so I know that it is indeed recording the audio from the mic. And so now we're going to do like a little noise cancellation test. So because this mic is so minimal, there is no display on the receiver or the transmitters. There's only a single button on each. And so to enable noise cancellation, we want to tap the button on the transmitter. When I do that, I see the light on the receiver turns green. So we are currently in the highest level of noise cancellation. It's on that by default when you turn it on. But if we want to adjust it, we have 3 different levels. So we want to do that by tapping on the button on the receiver. So this part's a little tricky. I actually have some notes down below so I can see. So if it flashes once, it's on weak noise cancellation. So I believe right now it's on weak. We're going to press it again to put it on medium, I believe. So now the Boya Mini is on medium noise cancellation. And to put it on strong noise cancellation, the default, we want to press that button again. Yep, okay, so I saw the receiver light flash 3 times, so that means that it is now on the strongest level of noise cancellation. If we want to repeat that cycle again, put it on weak, we just press the button on the receiver once again. Next up, we are testing out the BoyaLink 2. So I have the receiver plugged into the bottom of the Pocket 3. I see my audio levels going, so I know that it is indeed connected. And this is what it sounds like. So the BoyaLink 2 also lacks display on the receiver or the transmitters. So if you want to change any settings, you want to connect the receiver to the phone and link it up with the Boya Central app. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that because we want to test out the levels of noise cancellation on this microphone. All right, let's test out noise cancellation on the BoyaLink 2. So to do that, there's a button here. And you want to tap it once, and so the indicator light on the transmitter goes from blue to green to let you know that you have noise cancellation turned on. Right now we have it set to strong noise cancellation, so this is what it sounds like. If we want to set it to weak noise cancellation, we have to connect the receiver to the Boya Central app to toggle that. All right, now we should be on strong noise cancellation on the BoyaLink 2. This is what it sounds like. I've got a bit of a breeze coming through. There's an airplane flying overhead. So not a ton of noise, but hopefully it gives you a sense of how the noise cancellation is in terms of blocking out some of that extraneous noise that you might not want in your video. There we go, airplane's coming closer. So yeah, let me go ahead and turn it off so you can hear the difference. All right, now I've turned noise cancellation off on the BoyaLink just as there's more noise from crows nearby. So here's what it sounds like. Next up, let's audio test the Boya Mic. So I've got the little receiver plugged into the bottom of the Pocket 3. We're recording audio directly to the transmitter because these transmitters are a bit big compared to the other mics that I've talked about so far. But part of the reason for that is because it does internal recording. So I do have it enabled. This is what it sounds like. And we can also do noise cancellation. So I believe there's only one level of it. And to enable it, we want to press on the noise cancellation button on the transmitter. So I went ahead and did that, and the indicator light on the transmitter went from blue to green to verify that noise cancellation is on. So here's what that sounds like. And for contrast, I'll go ahead and turn it off. So no noise cancellation, this is what it sounds like. So the Boya mic is the only one so far that gives you the option of plugging in a wired lavalier microphone. And you can also get a kit that includes Boya's own wired lavs to come with it. So if you want to use it, you would just take that wired lav and plug it into the transmitter. Right now we're not doing that, so you can have a baseline of what the audio sounds like and what it looks like when it's clipped to me. But we'll go ahead and plug in that lav mic so you can hear and see the difference. So now I've got the wired lavalier microphone plugged into the Boya mic transmitter. I don't know if you can hear an audio difference. There might be a slight difference, but you can probably see a difference. So if this mic, this little lav mic, unfortunately I forgot the clip, but I think you get the idea that it's quite a bit smaller, especially if I were to thread this cable down my shirt. It would be practically invisible. It would definitely not draw as much attention as clipping the transmitter to myself. So that would be one of the reasons why you might want to use a wired lav. Finally, we have the Boya V4, which is the 4-channel mic system. This one, they only gave me one with a 3.5mm TRS connection. I don't know if one exists for USB-C, but I wasn't able to test it out with the Pocket 3 for that reason, at least not easily. So I have the receiver connected to my Sony a7 IV mirrorless camera. So those are just 4 of the many wireless mic systems that Boya offers. Each one has its own pros and cons, and the best choice really depends on your budget and how you plan to use them. But overall, I find that Boya mics are very competitively priced for what they deliver. That said, to me, even their flagship model is missing a couple of features that I would have loved to see, namely 32-bit float recording and auto gain or intelligent gain assist. These tend to be more advanced professional level features that you typically find on mic systems priced at $330 or higher. But with that said, they're not essential for everyone, but they can help you with protecting your audio from clipping or peaking, especially in unpredictable recording environments. So if you do need those features, then unfortunately they are not offered on any of these Boya mics here. But even without those features, the Boya lineup still offers a lot of value for the price, at least in my opinion. But I would love to hear your thoughts. Would those extra features matter to you, or are you happy with having some of the bare essentials? Let me know in the comments, especially you guys that have been telling me to try Boya mics. I finally did. I tried 4 of them, in fact. So let me know your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.